In this video I will cover operators, string manipulation, and the file system object. There are a number of different types of operators used in VBScript, and these are arithmetic operators, the assignment operator, comparison operators, concatenation operators, and logical operators. I will give a brief overview of all of these in this video. The arithmetic operators are, as the name suggests, used to carry out mathematical equations in a script. For example, in this script we can see the four main arithmetic operators: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, which function in the way you would expect them to. The other arithmetic operators as shown in this script are integer division, exponentiation, and the mod operator. I think it is unlikely that you will need to use any of these three operators in your scripts, but I've mentioned them here. And I will put a link to all of the arithmetic operators in the video description box. The assignment operator is the equal sign, which is used to assign a value to a variable, as shown in this script, as well as in the majority of all of the previous scripts in these videos, and is a common element of any scripts created. Comparison operators are, as the name suggests, used to compare expressions, as the syntax shows. They can also be used to compare objects, but it's unlikely that you will want to do this within a VBScript. As the table shows, there are a number of different comparison operators available to use in your scripts. These can be used to compare numbers or strings and will return a value of true, false or null. A null value means that one or more of the values being compared was empty. In this example script, I've used the greater than or less than comparison operators in an if statement block, to compare two numbers entered by the user, displaying the relevant message, depending on the result of the comparison. The concatenation operator is used to force the concatenation of two string expressions, as the syntax shows, i.e., it joins the strings together. Although it is possible to use the plus sign to join two strings together, I would not recommend this, as it could produce unexpected results if the strings you're joining are actually numbers. So always use the ampersand when joining strings, as shown in this example script, which displays this message after joining the various strings together. There are four different types of logical operators. They are the AND operator, the OR operator, the NOT operator, and the XOR operator, as shown. As the name suggests, logical operators can be tricky to use correctly and are the cause of most logical errors. And as I believe them to be an advanced topic, I won't be covering them in these videos. I will put links to the syntax for each of the logical operators in the description box. However, I would advise avoiding them in your scripts until you have much more experience, and to only use them if absolutely necessary. String manipulation is probably one of the most important aspects of creating useful scripts. Whether it is direct input or when working with files, VBScript has a number of functions that you can use. These are the Len Function, the InStr Function, and the right, left and mid functions. The Len function is used to return the length of a string, i.e., the number of characters in a string. In this very simple example, we are using the Len function to determine how many characters there are in each of the three test strings. This information is essential when we want to do more complicated things with strings. For example, replacing or adding text within a string. The InStr function is used to determine the position of the first occurrence of one string within another. As this script shows, we get the starting position of the string we are searching for within our test string. Note that the search is case sensitive, so if the strings don't match exactly, a zero position is returned, as shown within this example. There is also an InStrRev function, which returns the position of an occurrence of one string within another, from the end of the string. I've shown you an example of this here, but I would avoid using this function unless absolutely necessary, as it can be confusing when manipulating strings. The left function returns a specified number of characters from the left side of a string. In this example we use the left function to get a specified number of characters from our test string and assign them to a variable called left of string, before displaying the results. Note that as in all of the string manipulation functions, all of the characters in the string being manipulated are counted as part of the string. This includes any spaces, commas, tabs, etc. And also, as this example shows, if we specify a number of characters greater than the string contains, then all of the string is returned. The write function returns a specified number of characters from the right-hand side of a string. As this example shows, the write function works in a similar way to the left function, but the character count starts at the end of the test string and works backwards. And again, the whole string is returned if the character count is greater than the number of characters in the string being manipulated. The mid function returns a specified number of characters from a string. And as the syntax shows, we have to specify both the start position in the string and the length of the string, i.e., the number of characters to return. In this example we are returning a different number of characters from the test string, starting at different points within the test string, before displaying the results. We have briefly looked at the FileSystemObject in a previous video, when discussing the use of the set statement. However, as it is a very powerful and useful tool to use in VBScripts, I will cover it in more detail now, giving a few examples of what we can use it for. As we can see, the FileSystemObject provides access to a computer's file system, and has a lot of different methods to achieve this, some of which I will cover next. One of the main reasons to use the FileSystemObject in VBScript is to use its methods to read, write or append to text-based files. There are two methods available for this, and they are the CreateTextFile method and the OpenTextFile method. Although you can use the CreateTextFile method to read files as well as to write files, this method is primarily used to create files. So in most cases I use the OpenTextFile method, as this can not only create and write files, it also allows you to read and even append to existing files. So I will only cover the OpenTextFile method in this video, but will put links in the description box for the syntax for both methods. Quite often when we are creating scripts, we want to read contents of an existing file, and then carry out one or more actions with the data retrieved from the file. Here is an example script showing the use of the OpenTextFile method to achieve this. First of all, you may have noticed the use of the const keyword, which is used to declare a constant value required for reading a file. A constant, as the name suggests, is a set value that never changes within the script, unlike a variable. After declaring the variables and the constant, the script creates the file system object called fs1. It then specifies the file to read, which in this case is in the same folder as the script. Then a text stream object is created using the OpenTextFile method, in this case called list_in_stream. Notice that inside the brackets are the variable name for the file we are going to read, followed by a comma, and then the for reading constant. The script then uses a while loop to read all of the contents of the file into a variable called temp_in_text, before displaying the results in a message box, as shown. And finally the script closes the file. Here is another version of the script, but this time instead of reading all of the contents of the file in one go, this one reads a line at a time, displaying the current line's text for each loop through the file. Another thing we might want to do within our scripts is to create and write data to files, which we can also do using the OpenTextFile method. Here is an example script showing how you can achieve this. Again, we declare a constant value, but this time the one required for writing to a file. After declaring the variables and the constant, the script creates the file system object called fs2. It then specifies the file name that we are going to write to, which in this case is in the same folder as the script. Then a text stream object is created using the OpenTextFile method, in this case called handle. Notice that inside the brackets are the variable name for the file we are going to write to, followed by a comma, and then the for writing constant. And then another comma followed by the word true, which is optional and means that we are creating a new file, or overwriting an existing file. The script then uses the WriteLines method of the text stream object to write a line at a time followed by a carriage return to the file. So in this example it would be the text enclosed in the quotation marks, or where no text is shown, then a blank line is written. And finally the script closes the file. Please note that in all cases when using either the CreateTextFile method, or the OpenTextFile method, it is very important to close the file within your script, once you have finished with it. Failure to do so can at best lead to unexpected results and at worst can result in locked or corrupt files. If we run this script, we see that the file called nurseryrhyme.txt is created in the same folder, and if we open the file we see the text exactly as we expected from our script. There will also be times when we want to append data to existing files, which is also possible using the OpenTextFile method. As this script shows, which differs only slightly from the file writing script. This time we use the for appending constant. But the same file is to be written to, as we used in the writing to a file example. We are using a text stream object called FileHandle, but we are still using the same WriteLines method, to write text and blank lines, to our pre-existing file called nurseryrhymes.txt. Note, there is also a WriteBlankLines method, which does exactly what you would expect, but I haven't bothered to use it in this example. If we look at the nurseryrhyme.txt file before we run the append to a file script, we see the text that has already been written to it. And then after we run the append to script, we see that we have appended the text and blank lines within our script to the file as expected. In the next video I will give a brief overview of how to use WMI within a VBScript, along with an introduction of using VBScripts with Active Directory.